It's a Midwest thing, y'all. They ain't got a clue. Why my cutlass blue? And I got them things on that motherfucker too. It's a Midwest thing, y'all.
Hello everyone, we'd like to welcome you back to another episode of Midwest Mouthful. Today we got a nice clean slate for you guys. We're going to start out with some MLB lockout. What we got going on over there, Taylor?
Well, we had a meet for the first time yesterday since this all started. We're on day 56 now.
Whew.
Man. Yeah, so the meeting yesterday was pretty heated from what I've heard, and one thing that did come out of it was the Players Association decided to drop the free agency talk.
All right.
They wanted to be able to be a free agent sooner into their career. It's going to remain at 6 years as of right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
6 years.
The only thing I really took down from that was basically the same thing. The players issued a counter offer yesterday on the 24th. I did see something on a CBS thing. It said right here, like, they were talking about numbers to remember and dates that could push back things and other things of that such. And I know they said March 15th. It delayed opening day, and a 1990 lockout set a precedent for delaying open day. Lockout lasted 32 days, it said. March 15 must be the deadline, I guess, on when it's going to start pushing back the season and how you're going to have to start rescheduling things. So that's going to be real important to get this done in the next month or two, probably going forward. I know there's a lot of geeked up baseball fans out there. You know, I know my Reds aren't going to probably do much this year, but we still got some nice key players.
Hey.
And I'm excited to see them play still, regardless of where they're going to finish. I'm going to go to some games again. I had fun last year. It'd be nicer if our ownership would put forth a little more effort. That's all I'm going to say. India needs a deal, and need to get Big Dick Nick back. You know,
Yeah. Most definitely.
It's just a. You know, they got a bunch of young pitchers. I think it'll be interesting to see that and develop.
I think
this
so
might
too.
not be our year, but it could be in the next year. It could lead up to a lot of good things with a lot of young pitching turning into.
Could be, but as a Reds fan, and speaking of lockouts, the last two times the MLB locked out in '76 and '90, who was the World Series champs?
Yeah.
So
that's a fun one. Unfortunately, this
it doesn't.
This isn't our year.
No, it's not. But I mean, it's a fun little stat to throw out there. Hey, so Taylor, got a question. Was there anything on the changes to the revenue sharing? I heard that they were talking about.
No, the MLB is standing firm on that as of right now, as well as arbitration.
So because I heard I believe the union wanted arbitration after 2 years instead of 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They're meeting again today, so on the bright side, they're at least talking.
Yeah,
that's good. That's really good. So.
Yeah, I'm thrilled about that. Hopefully they get this done. All right, we're gonna switch it over to NBA trade deadline. We ain't got no Dave here today. Everybody's by now, hopefully our guest Taylor Sullivan, Jeremy Phillips on the co-host, and me myself Ryan Tierney. Hopefully you get to know us a little bit better. Dave's down sick again, so Dave's been had a bad few weeks. So let's hope Dave will be back here for Friday, Saturday's episode, whatever we decide to do. He's generally the NBA guy, so today we'll just fill in for it. We're basically just talking about some trade deadline stuff going on. I think nobody takes the NBA as serious early in the year right now. Everybody knows the Lakers could get hot, finish 5th or something, then go in and tear up the playoffs now.
Right.
I don't think that possibly would happen this year, but with anything with LeBron's possible. I know my Cavs are playing good ball this year. It's fun to watch them. You got Giannis and them. You got the Nets are going to do their thing. Definitely is going to be the same type of contenders. One thing on the deadline that everybody's been looking forward is Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons looks like Sixers saying they might just keep him for a bigger deal later on in the offseason because they don't like what they're getting on feelers and stuff right now. That's interesting.
Has he even played this year?
No, he sat out the whole year, so you're gonna lose him for a whole year. I mean, I get it. If it all works out for him, patience might be perseverance. Wow. But if it doesn't, then you're looking at a rocky slope. Because what if you don't get feelers then, and then you wasted another half season of Embiid's prime? So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I just feel with him sitting out, his trade value is going to go down.
Oh, for sure.
You would think that, but there's better deals rather than making a panic deal now at the end of the year when the whole everything's reset as far as money and all that other stuff. It's another year off Simmons' deal. Might be more treating to other teams, you know,
Very
because
true.
there's another year of that money gone.
Yeah.
You know, it probably depends. You know, Philly don't want to eat that money or anything like that, or, you know, get some weak trade back just to ship him out.
Right.
They're looking at it like, nah, he was a number one pick. He's still got some good game in him. He's an all NBA defensive type of guy, because at that position, 6'10", guarding a lot of point guards is just a menace.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
Anybody
is.
knows who's played against in the game basketball, you played in it, you go get a guy on you who's got a lot more length than you. It makes it tough right off the get.
So, speaking on NBA, you think the Nets are going to trade Kyrie?
I don't know. They got I think that would be gauged, but the more I look at it is it's looking like Harden. They're talking about Harden possibly being on the Sixers' radar and them trying to make a push. So I don't know if they'd involve Simmons in that, obviously. But, you know, imagine if he went from the Nets to the Sixers. We couldn't see the Nets wanting to ship out Harden to the Sixers, knowing
Me
that would
neither.
make them stronger to play them later on. That's why.
And you would figure the Nets would want to ship out Kyrie just because of his stance on the vaccine, and he can't even play home
The
games.
Sixers are hot right now. They're trying to ship Simmons, though. They just want the right return, and they're willing to wait if they don't get it. They've been active. They said on Beal, Brown, Lillard, guys like that have all made contacts, reach out to see about possible feelers on you know, that or maybe picks. I don't know if they didn't want Simmons. Who knows what it all involved. I know they talked about Sabonis. People have talked about the Pacers, him getting shopped around, because the
Okay.
Pacers are generally just middle to bottom,
Yeah.
you know, type of team.
Sabonis
So
is a nice piece to add to any team.
yes, I think he could be real good fit for a few teams. I mean, yeah, people like that guy with size, a little jumper, just plays clean, does dirty work. He's an all-star, you know, he's a late type of pick all-star.
Yeah.
He's not getting picked early in your all-star game, but you know, he might make a few all-stars. He could be a great addition for somebody.
You think the Cavs make any moves?
They traded for Rondo recently, and I think that was to fill the Ricky Rubio,
Yeah.
because Rubio was providing all that extra help that they didn't think they were even going to get out of Rubio. And now that they got that, they were like, man, we ain't going to be able to get Rubio's shot back. But if we can get his playmaking back,
Yeah.
in Rondo, at least in a veteran playmaking, then maybe we make up for some of that. And,
For sure.
you know, we get some of the points from some other people. Maybe Mobley or some other people like that are able to carry more as the season goes on. I don't know. He might wear out, too.
Yeah.
Mobley's a frail dude, and it's a long season. He ain't never played a season like this.
Well, Markkanen just went down with a sprained ankle.
I saw that,
so-
the other day. So that's going to make things interesting for our Cavs too to see. It's all they've done is persevere over top of injury after injury.
Yeah.
They just played great team ball this year. Like I said, it's been a surprise, and I went from a guy that you know, yeah, of course I watched him with LeBron and Kyrie. You know, once they left, I wanted to be interested. I still generally watched games, but I watched them while I had something else on the other big TV,
Yeah.
you know, and now I find myself still turning on and watching a whole quarter, watching two, and
Yeah.
feeling good about watching more forward going on.
Yeah, they're in a good place.
Yes, because it feels like they're in the right place. All right, Jeremy, we're going to go over to NCAA portal news.
Portal news.
What do you got? NCAA portal, NCAA recruiting news right now. You already know. I can
Recruiting,
talk for
let's
an
see.
hour,
Well,
so.
you got Will Smith Jr., 3-star out of
Yeah.
Ohio, just committed to Ohio State, following his dad's footsteps.
commit?
He did commit.
Yeah, I figured that would happen.
Yeah,
I know
he
Notre
committed.
Dame had got him. He's a good kid, smart kid. I knew with Will knowing Marcus that I knew Marcus was going to reach out to
Right,
him and stuff
yep.
or whatever. So I knew that was going to happen as well.
Yeah, he. I heard
But
that.
you can't blame him. I mean, he's right down the street. It's what he's wanted to be probably since he was a kid. Good for him.
And who was the that one cornerback decommitted from A&M?
No, it wasn't a corner. It was number 4 overall in the country, Harold Perkins.
Yeah, that's what
Linebacker, some 5-star linebacker. He decommits from A&M now. He's visiting Florida. He's from LSU. I said it all along. He's been wanting to go to LSU. He's always wanted to go to LSU. That's what I've always heard. The Oregon Brian Kelly thing threw some wrinkles in that. A&M's got such a great class. It tempted him. He wanted to go be a part of that. Now after the probably the NIL money, he's probably just like, you know, let me put in a few offers. Notice he didn't sign on the early signing day. He still held out for that, even though he committed, did not sign. So that's one hit on that A&M class we were talking about. Looks like money can't buy everyone. And I mean, At least not the right price yet. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he'd go back to an A&M if they up the ante a little bit. I think right now he's going to get the feelers and see who's got what for him right now. And can you blame him? I still think ultimately now that the type of guys that Kelly had in staff, and I said how they were killing, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up at LSU. But people say he visited Florida. He liked it there too. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go LSU, but it could be Florida though. Could be a few other schools that are trying to get in the mix late.
Yeah, I think it just might be LSU. I think they're going to throw a little bit more.
Do you got him in there on there? If you can pull up his thing.
No, I was looking for him in here,
He might not be.
and I didn't see him. Just like I was looking.
Where are you at?
24/7 Sports NCAA portal.
So this is the portal. He is a recruit. He's not a portal. You'd have to go to the top 100 recruiting, and he's going to be in there.
Right, but I was
Like
also
said, it'll be
looking for the
fourth.
guy. I was also looking for the kid that just transferred from Georgia to Alabama.
Yes, I have him on here too. Burton. He was a top 100 guy.
Yeah.
Yes, top 100 guy. Georgia really underutilized him. I don't know. They're in love with their. It's kind of hard to say that now when you win a championship. Mm-hmm. But they're in love with their tight ends, the run game. They always had plans for picking. Burton kind of just got. I think his name's Jermaine Burton or something. But I think he got lost in the shuffle a few years ago. He's number 7, I think last year. Was number 80, I feel like, a few years ago when Notre Dame had played him. He's a good talent, man. If Alabama went after him, they went after Williams last year. They know talent when they see it. They see that they weren't using him. They'll use him over there. They got Bryce Young for him. So there he is right there. See, number 4.
Harold Perkins, number
Texas, huh?
Texas.
So see,
Texas
he is a
A&M.
Texas boy. So
Yeah.
we'll see where Perkins decides to go.
5-star number 1 linebacker, number 1 in the state, 4 nationally. Yeah.
What about USC guys? Again in the news, like I said last week, they just got Dye from Oregon.
Man.
The running back Dye from Oregon and the starting running back Jones from Stanford. Took 2 starting running backs from Stanford and Oregon and said, come on over here, share time. 2 starters willing to share time
So
at USC right now. They're
my question here, you
building a little
got
juggernaut, but guess what USC doesn't have, my man? Right now they still don't got a quarterback. What Taylor said it the other day.
Caleb Williams.
There you go.
Big name in the transfer.
Where's he gonna go?
it kind of makes sense because wasn't Lincoln Riley the one that benched Rattler for Caleb Williams?
Yeah, I mean everything we know, everybody just bailed on OU after all this has happened.
Yeah,
It's like we're out of here. We'll see what. And OU's doing a great job of reshuffling and getting things back to normalcy there. But I don't know. I think Caleb's still strong to go to USC.
I think
still think
that's where he's headed.
he goes under his coach. He loves Riley, man.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. I don't know what's holding it back. Something tells me there's some major offers going down, and there's some counter offering going down. There's teams like Georgia and this or that. Because who's Georgia? I mean, they got Bennett coming back, but do you really love Bennett? If you can get a Caleb Williams, I don't think they bring Caleb to replace Bennett though. So that's probably why that nixes that. Who else is out there?
Let's take a look here. We can
Jackson Dart, but he just left USC, which is another.
I have him
point.
right there too. So does Dart go back if he goes?
Somewhere else.
Yes, that's what I said, and that's why I think it's like free agent signing. People are waiting to go to. He goes there, then he goes there, then this guy has to go to one of these two.
Yeah.
If you're in tier 3 or 4, then you're in a waiting game right now.
See-
You're trying to wait out these other dudes to pick their spots, and then it makes it real easy on where you're going to end up.
Yeah.
Makes it quite clear.
I mean, look right here. 24/7 Sports has predicted Caleb Williams going to USC too, 100%.
See, yeah, I know, and I like 24/7. It's great, but they're not always right.
They're not. They're not.
It's tough.
But
It's
I mean,
tough to always be right.
but at
honestly.
the same time, here you go with the with the transfer rankings, and 1 and 2 is USC and LSU. So
That's what they are now. See,
Yeah,
and
Ole
I
Miss
had them
at 3.
last week. Remember, I said LSU and USC. I didn't even know because Ole Miss was 2 last week. Nah, USC and LSU killing it.
Yeah.
Riley and Kelly. That's why they were the first 2 coaches to be gone after and gotten. And when the off season, you can say what you want about them. Notre Dame fans, Oklahoma, be mad. They're good coaches because they know how to run programs. Period. They know who to hire at the right spot. It hasn't always been great for both of them, so they might miss on a few LSU and USC staff members right now, and it could hold them back from winning that chip. We'll see if they have those same problems, but. Let's be real. They're elite coaches.
Oh.
They're building elite programs, and wherever they go, will be elite.
Yep.
It's
Yeah, what Kelly was capable of at Notre Dame, it's got to be intriguing to play for him at LSU as a young
Who
guy.
said that for 2 or 3 years? We all know I've hated certain things about Kelly and always thought he was smug and certain things like that. But I always said, imagine without restrictions him at Florida. him at LSU, him at Texas, him at Oklahoma, him at these schools where you can recruit anybody in the country, and you can recruit as many of them as you want. And then now you made it okay to open the wallet. Well, we know Notre Dame ain't gonna be like, oh, you know, they're gonna try to do everything the right way. I respect it. That's why I love them and I'm a fan, because I like doing that. But let's be real, that's not the way this world has worked. It's never worked that way. It's always been the dirty rise to the top.
Yeah.
It's always the way it is. So it's struggling. It's hard for me to be able to. Are you checking that, Jeremy? Make sure it's still popped on.
Yeah,
we can go right here, so that way we ain't getting no fireworks for you guys during the whole middle of the show. You know, sorry, we're a little LD with this whole media stuff right now. We'll get hipper as time goes on. All right, where do we want to go to now, Jeremy? We had the Notre Dame schedule. We want to talk about Notre Dame and Clemson, a little bit of the ACC. I really didn't bother with much of it. I'm sure Jeremy got a few things. I looked at Notre Dame's and Clemson's. They actually don't have an ACC schedule set that I saw there, but they have like teams who you're going to play, but they ain't said when you're going to play.
Right.
So that could change everything if you add a few of these back to back, or not off of buys, or if teams have buys. So what did Clemson have?
I mean, Clemson can have anywhere from 1 to 4 tough games. I think their toughest game all season is going to be the ND game.
It's at Notre Dame. Yeah.
And then they also have South Carolina. They got the
Carolina.
U, and they got Louisville.
They got
but
the U at home, probably.
But Miami's got a brand new head coach and all that coaching turnover. So how's that team gonna be as opposed to last season?
And they got at Florida State though.
Yeah, I know, but
Norville's going to get them. I'm disappointed right now in Florida State.
Yes,
I thought they would have way more portal. Now as what I will say they have done, they got wide receivers, bro. Go look at them. They got like 3 guys that started at other programs at one point, all to come to Florida State this year. The thing about it is are they going to have that QB? If they can get a good QB at Florida State, then they're going to make noise. Norville's not a bad coach, I'm telling you.
I just, they've been down the last couple of years, so I just haven't really thought of them as the powerhouse they used to be.
Their facilities are not very good. Either is Miami, Florida. Why do you want to go there when you go to LSU, go to Ole Miss, some of these other places, even Ohio State, Notre Dame?
Maybe put money into their facilities, yeah.
They got great facilities. Notre Dame's got another like $80-100 million they're spending on another facility. You got to. Yeah. You have to do it and keep it up and give these kids the best living space. These kids got bowling alleys, all this other. They got their own like Sim City where it's all, you know what I mean? They go chill at these player lounges.
Clemson don't even play North Carolina or Pitt this year.
Yeah. But is Pitt going to be good without Pickett?
I don't know.
They're going to be back to losing 5 games.
They could be back to losing 5 games, but and how's North Carolina going to be losing Sam Howell at the same time too, though?
There you go.
It's the same time.
Carolina's
still
has recruited better.
They have Mac Brown. He's a great recruiter.
Yeah, he is.
I think those couple years off kind of helped.
They got that Zach Rice kid. I really liked him. He was a great kid. His mom interacted on Twitter and stuff. They were really good.
Well, not only that, I just think
he chose to stay home in North Carolina.
And those couple years that Mac Brown took away from college football, I think it helped rejuvenate him a little bit. Mm-hmm. He's like, I want to give it another go. And it was a great hire a few years ago for North Carolina. He's going to keep that program.
He's only got a little bit left, though. Remember?
I know he does, but in his little time left, he's going to create some consistency down here in North Carolina.
What was
somebody needs to challenge Clemson?
It's got to be 70, bro. I'm telling you. Anybody else in the ACC that caught you? I really just looked at Notre Dame. I know NC State's supposed to be. A big deal this year too. So.
There's some teams in there that I'd kind of like to see if they can turn around.
Do they have NC State? Ooh, yeah. See, Clemson's got NC State, Miami, Florida, at Florida State, at Notre Dame, Louisville, South Carolina, Boston College. It isn't horrible.
No.
Louisiana Tech's one of their non-conferences, and they're a team that wins, 8
Well, and
games.
don't they have Furman at the end of the season?
Well, come on now, man.
One throwaway, that's...
One throwaway isn't too bad.
Right, but
team's putting 3 on there.
You would think that throwaway would be at the beginning of the season, and you play your rival right there. Because that would be rivalry week.
Yeah, well, most people have 1 or 2 throwaways. It's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal. Some people do 3. But
it's not a bad idea to put it right before the end of the season, bowl week.
Well, it says right there it's at the end, but they don't know, remember? It won't be at the end.
Oh, it's to be announced?
Yeah, it's to be announced. It won't be at the end because they won't play a Furman. It might be like 2 weeks before that, or it could be earlier in the years usually.
Yeah.
Is the ACC all the way through? I feel like they might take breaks too.
No, I think the ACC and the Big Ten and the Pac-12, once you start conference play.
You don't leave it.
Well, no, I take that back. The Big Ten don't even do that again because
That's what I
remember a
said.
couple of years ago, Ohio State started at Minnesota.
I haven't really paid attention to that aspect. I know the SEC doesn't. You
Yeah,
know,
because Ohio State started at
I know the
Minnesota
Big
and then
Ten
had 2 non-conference.
Yeah, they were like that for years.
Yes,
and
they
years,
were.
so. Okay, we'll bounce over then to Notre Dame real quick. Start out at Ohio State, Marshall, Cal, North Carolina, BYU, Stanford, UNLV, Syracuse, Clemson, Navy, Boston College, USC. Start strong, finish strong. Got North Carolina, BYU, Stanford in the middle, and you have Clemson towards the back end too. I mean, that's a pretty good schedule. It's got its few little peaches. You got, UNLV, Navy, Marshall, but I mean, them aren't your, UNLV is about the only one. Navy sometimes is good, and Marshall, I mean,
Navy will keep you guessing with that triple option.
yeah, they're still that, and they hurt your linemen because they block low and stuff. We've been doing this for years. We hate it. Like annually happens, like once a year. We're just like, before the game. UNLV, Marshall, yeah, them are your. See, like I said, two easies. Navy's a possible third, but other than that, it's a bunch of Power Fives, and that's the way I like it. I'm intrigued. That's going to be fun for Freeman.
Yeah.
He's got a really good team still this year. It might not be great, but it's still a really good team. Top 10, top 15 team. Could be better if things fall into place. Could be worse if a few things happen or injuries. So hopefully we're not done hitting the portal. Like I said, we know the restrictions on our portal. We can only get grads. I don't think we're done. I'd like to think we add at least a wide receiver of some sort. It's going to be a fun year. I mean, I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm like hesitant. I'm not going to crown them like some people have, but then at the same time, I'm not going to get mad if Marks goes 9-3 at that record. Because Brian Kelly, I watched him lose to Tulsa, lose to South Florida, lose to Navy. I watched him lose some games, so it's like, what? We're supposed to not be patient? Now, I know we want to take the next step as a program when you're Notre Dame, so yeah, you don't want to get 8-4, 7-5, but I think 9-3 and better, I think, is sustainable for the program, especially if you can go get that 10th win in the bowl and just keep those 10-win plus seasons going. That's what we got, like 5 in a row now. I think you do that and Marcus will be fine. Now, if Tyler Buckner is a hit, watch out. Watch out, that's all I'm going to say. You might not know it in time for the Ohio State game, and they might lose because of that, because we don't know everything we need to know about Tyler Buckner right away.
Yeah.
But by the time we face our next good opponent, we'll know everything we need to know about him, and it might be curtains for people if he ends up being the real deal. I mean, we're talking about a kid that's Mariota type fast, can take the edge, and if he can see the field, it's game over. I mean, he was ranked like up to 20th or something at one point and dropped to like 100th, so he stayed in there the whole time. He played real small ball in Cali. You saw him mixed in a little bit last year.
Yeah, I want to see what he's got this year.
Yeah, I want to see a full...
Knowing he's the starter.
Knowing you're the guy. Knowing there's 2 minutes left. And, there's no Jack Cohn. There's no Ian Book. They can't come bail you out. These season's veterans.
Yeah.
It might be too much for him at Ohio State early on. But you never know, though. His feet, which Ohio States tend to have problems with, is quarterbacks that are good running quarterbacks that can, when they get back there, can dip out of the pocket.
They have.
And be able to extend plays. But,
who knows with that new defensive staff?
There's a lot of who knows in that game.
Right,
The
there
only
really
thing
is.
You do know is that Ryan Day and that offense will come out and play a good game.
Yeah.
Will they play a great game? I don't know. It's first game of the year. It's tough. But they will play a good game, though, and they are going to be electric, and you'll see some plays when a few of those guys touch the ball.
Yeah.
Smith, Jixpa,
that's what I'm
guys like
saying.
that. You're definitely going to do that. So I think, but, Notre Dame got a lot of those D linemen. They got the Amendola twins to come back. Foskey came back. Ohio State did too as well. But that's for a different story. That's why Buckner could have problems. But I'm saying the way that Notre Dame could stay in the game is definitely get D-line pressure from the D-line right away. Stop the run and get some pressure on pass and long downs.
And they could have success against Ohio State, especially with Ohio State losing Petit Ferrer and Munford.
And this is another thing I'm going to say. See, Buckner runs a lot of that read, triple option type, man in motion. Running the ball against Ohio State, you can control the clock. You can keep Stroud and them boys off there a little bit more. And if you're able to win a few series, and then you can run the ball successful like the teams did this year, Michigan and Oregon, when they were able to beat them. That's what your boy, what's his name, the new coach,
Jim Knowles.
Knowles. I was gonna say Broles, but yeah, that's what they brought him in there for. Because Oak State was good at stopping the run.
Yeah.
They stuffed us on it this year, even in the thing, and that's why they're bringing him in. They want him to eliminate the run and get back in the old ways where Ohio State did. They just dominated you in the trenches, and you had to pass.
Yeah.
Then they got opportunistic and they made things happen. Because athletes are gonna athlete.
Oh, they definitely are.
When you got urban types, you got a lot of them. What do we have next, Jeremy? We're going into the NFL draft profiles. All right, we got 3 of them this week for us. We have Kenny Pickett, Matt Corral, and Sam Howell. 3 guys. We're going to start out with 3 quarterbacks. Probably do 3 quarterbacks here on the next segment, and then we'll start branching off some other positions. Try to do 20 or 30, and we'll eventually drop a little mock draft. Have some fun with this.
Oh yeah, that'll be
We're just
fun.
trying to let the playoffs finish out, and then we'll let that all fall in place. Taylor, you can start us off if you want on Pickett and what you had on any feels and looking at him.
I think Pickett's by far the best QB prospect in this draft. Possibly number 1 pick. You never know. I mean, the guy's coming off a 4,300-yard season, 42 touchdowns, only 7 picks.
Yeah,
His accuracy's crazy. He's got a big arm. He's not known as a mobile guy, but he can get mobile if he needs to.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at him as being the best quarterback available right now.
That's what I have pulled up on all of mine. Jeremy, if you want me to go? Pickett, this is what I had with Pickett. I looked at some videos, looked at a few, just some highlights, some things that I liked of him. Poise and playmaking, that's what I got from him. Real poised. He's an older guy. He's an older cat. You know what I mean? He's like I have him kind of Burrow-esque. And I know that sounds this and that, but I mean, very much of it's an it factor, knows the game, drops passes in, can run if needs to, but not really a serious running threat. What was he? I had 6'2", 6'3", trying to 220, 225. He has good reads. If you see him, he breaks down all his progressions. Everything was good. He had 23 deep pass TDs, most in the NCAA the last 2 years.
Wow.
Big arm, buddy. Can see the field down as things are developing,
Yeah,
and knows what's going on. He had Addison. I mean, I think Addison's great and all, but I think Pickett helped make Addison. He won the Blitnikoff. He won it over Williams in the
Yeah, I think so too.
And that's what's the other one I had? I just think that's big value in the NFL. The deep ball, being able to throw it and be effective. Burrow and that had that. It's basically saying if you can get him a good receiver when he's in the NFL, he's gonna make things happen. 65 completion percentage on 3rd down. That's what
huge.
he had.
That's huge.
That's awesome.
Yes, moves the chains. He's a plug and play guy, like you said. I don't know if he's first pick because people aren't valuing the QBs or something like they did last year.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think sky's the limit. I think probably anywhere from 5 to 15 range he'll probably
5 to 15.
go. I'll just say 5 to 15, and he's just a safer pick than a lot of the other QBs in the class. He just seems like he's ready. Like I said, he's ready to play. A place like Pittsburgh, I know you don't like them, Jeremy. They're not my favorite, but I respect shit out of their program.
But you know what? At the same time, as much as I do dislike Pittsburgh, I do feel that Pickett is a good pick for them. It's a solid pick.
They're all over Twitter with it.
They are
all
and
over Twitter with Pickett.
And
They want Pickett.
Pittsburgh likes those big body, big arm quarterbacks that have some escapability, that have great pocket awareness. I mean, and let's not forget that, Pickett also had 241 yards on 97 carries with 5 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not something you look for in a quarterback, but I mean, it just tells you he's not afraid to run the ball when need be.
Yeah.
Hey, and let's all not forget that play against Wake Forest that the NCAA said made a rule again. Remember the fake slide? Come on, man.
Oh, yeah, we're going to call that the Pickett now.
Yeah, that's the Pickett rule. Yeah, that's the Pickett rule. But another team that could possibly go after Pickett, or actually another 2 teams. How about Washington or Atlanta?
Washington and Atlanta aren't bad either. I like both of them. My sleeper for the whole thing, people are going to be like, what? Philadelphia.
Man.
They got all those picks. Is Jalen Hurt it? Do you maybe use one of those? Don't they got like 3 or something?
Yeah, they have 3 first-round picks this year.
See what I'm saying? Maybe you use one of them on a guy and be like, maybe Hurts ain't it in a year, and you develop.
So what, you go
Pickett.
grab Pickett and grab another receiver to go with Devontae Smith in the first?
It helps Hurts for now, and then you got Pickett just in case then.
Yeah.
And then, Minshew can go, which is unfortunate, because I feel like Minshew could be a guy that starts at Washington or something, and is another
You know what?
Fitzpatrick
Yes.
guy. I don't know if he's ever going to be, next level. I think he's a game
Minshew might be
manager.
able to run a Sean Payton offense in New Orleans, too.
Phew.
I can't disagree with that take on it, but I don't know if he makes it that far in the draft. I honestly don't know if he slides past the Broncos
Where's that? Yeah. You
at
think,
9.
Yeah.
Because Elway's been searching.
Where do they got
for
the
that
11th?
QB. 9th pick.
No. The Eagles.
The Eagles are down at 15.
Yeah, but they got 3 all
got 3
in the,
altogether.
past the 15th mark, right?
What is it? 15, 20.
After 15, yeah, they're coming in at 16 and 19.
15, 16, and 19.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oof. That's what I said. Or maybe would you package that? Would you package 15 and 19, move
To
up
move
10?
up, yeah, and that's
You
where-
really
that's
like
where-
him.
I mean, that's where I'm wondering if Jacksonville's looking to trade that first pick.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, maybe they want Hutchinson bad enough,
Or maybe
an
they want
offensive
Thibodeau.
tackle. Evan Neal. You never know what.
Yeah, you don't know what Jacksonville wants.
Or who wants a quarterback bad enough to trade up.
I don't think any of the teams that are looking for a quarterback would be willing to trade up that high to get him. I mean,
We're going to see. What about Corral? Go ahead. What do you got on Corral, Taylor? Let Taylor roll first.
From what I've saw of him so far, I like
Next,
him.
Jeremy.
He's a real mobile guy. I think he's the most mobile quarterback in this draft.
Yeah.
I got him at 3,000 yards last year, 20 touchdowns and 5 picks. So not as big of numbers as Pickett, but he's still an accurate guy. You blow those numbers up a little bit, and he's coming in at 40 touchdowns, 10 picks, which is pretty similar to
Yeah.
Pickett. There is a little bit of talk, though, about his maturity and whether he can be a guy that is suitable to lead an NFL team.
We love Lane, but, Lane isn't always the most
very true.
mature dude, too. So,
Yeah.
although I do love Lane, I think he's a great coach. I think he's going to be around for a long time. But Corral, with Lane was a dangerous combo. Their personalities, maybe what you would state as immature, this and that, it rubbed off, and they became nightmares for people. What do you got on him, Jeremy?
I did read something earlier that they were talking about one of the reasons that Corral would be a first rounder is because of his improved accuracy and his improved leadership. They said he's really stepped it up. Another thing I noticed with Corral, he hits his wide receivers in stride.
Yeah.
Even when he's rolling out, he hits his receivers in stride. He throws the deep ball well and with consistency.
Good rollout.
Yeah, I mean, he added 614 yards on the ground with 11 touchdowns. I mean,
500 the year before.
Yeah.
So he's not shy to it.
I mean,
40 yards of average. Had 11 touchdowns, you said?
yeah,
So
and let's be
big
real.
deal.
He's had two straight years of 3,300 yards with 20 or more touchdowns.
This is SEC competition.
Yes, and he cut down on his interceptions. 2020, he had 14 picks. 2021, he had 5.
Yeah. That's where it's at with C. See, I have him on here. I got him 6'1", 205, 6'2", 200, right around in there in between, okay size, not great size. It isn't nothing that you're like, big about. And the NFL's gotten used to it to an extent. They're becoming more normal with guys of that size, but let's be real. We'd all like Josh Allen size guys if we could have them.
Yeah.
Great footwork. He's a true dual threat.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what you're going to call it, that's what he is. If you ask me, I think he's got the goods as far as both go. Strong arm, dude can drop bombs. I mean, bombs and accurate, like you said, in stride, dude. Bombs on the move, boom, just boom, threw him out. I called him this year's Zach Wilson, is what I called him. I called him this year's Zach Wilson. I know it's a little bit. I think he makes a little bit more mistakes. He's a little bit that, but at the same time, I think he's a little bit riskier than Zach, though, too. So, there might be a little bit of a, I got big balls factor there. What I put, cool, calm against some good SEC competition. He didn't look all rattled. He was always on there. He's got a smooth release, man. Can extend plays like we talked about.
Yeah,
That's That's where the rollout.
Yes.
That's where the value is at now in the league. I mean,
Yeah.
look how many plays Allen made where he just looks like he's out of the play against Kansas City, and he's rolling out. Same at Mahomes.
Yeah.
They're just scampering around, and boom, they find a guy. It's crazy because they got the arm strength to do it and the footwork to get away.
Yeah.
It's literally how I built my guys when we play NCAA. Back in the
Exactly.
day, NCAA
Yes.
football. I want a guy that can get out, boom, extend the play while I'm playing verticals. I'm going to find somebody on that or a comeback. It just makes plays. They said he needs to make better decisions. That's what the knock is on him. Sometimes his decision making's a little bit sporadic about his reads and this and that, and he can tend to tuck the ball and go and not follow through with his progressions and stuff like that. He's still improving his vision. I'm sorry, still improving his vision. It's a big drop in interceptions. That's the other thing I put on there, and he's capable of being a very exciting playmaker to watch in the NFL if he goes with the right fits. Now I don't know the right fit. I mean, Pitt was another one, but I don't see him as a Pitt guy. Now maybe other people. I don't know. I don't see him as a cold weather kid. I thought he was a Cali kid. Almost ended up in Florida and then ended up going to Ole Miss. So that's all warm weather.
Hey Taylor, where are the Saints picking the draft?
Who?
The Saints are. Let me look again.
That's fine. Take your time. Yeah, that's intriguing. Wonder about Denver. That's cold up there.
Denver's ninth. Yeah.
Wonder if Denver would pull the trigger on him. Makes you wonder whether Philly or Pitt would actually still be in.
How about Houston?
Third pick. Ain't that what they got or something?
Yeah, I don't think they would take him with the
think you can
third
take
pick,
the
but
third.
I mean,
The Saints are at 18. So I'm thinking, unless one of these guys blows the combine away like Zach Wilson did, because Zach Wilson was kind of a sleeper.
He
until
was.
the combine.
And then jumped up with all them
so
bombs. That's I
maybe
said.
one of those guys do slide down to the Saints at 18 if they're interested.
I see Corral fitting in with New Orleans really the most. I see him being able to run that offense Drew Brees ran.
Yeah.
But the difference between the two,
I don't know. It's different. I think why he would fit in Saints to me is because he's like a Breeze's arm with Taysom Hill's feet. That's what's kind of intriguing.
That's where I was going. Yes, that's where I was going with
Yeah,
it.
you don't got to sub in and out no more.
No,
dog.
you
run
don't.
One guy, and I love Ian Book and all that. And he still might even get a shot next year. But if they bring in a first, then you're pretty much. I don't know if they bring in a first because I'm telling you, Jameis looked good there before he got hurt and stuff.
He did.
He looked good there.
Yeah,
You might not want nothing there. They
But
might just
you
be
know the-
fine and hold
and
tight
you know
there.
why Jameis
Get 'em
did
up.
look good,
They
right?
need wide
There
receivers,
you
dog.
go, Garrett Wilson.
They need wide
Maybe
receivers.
they go Garrett Wilson.
James
At 18,
Williams.
You don't think he
Garrett
makes it that far?
Garrett's gone. Garrett Wilson's gone before
He
18.
thinks
That's
that
fair.
the Browns are getting him at 13.
No, I don't
That's
even.
what he's
I
saying
would
over
like
here.
that, but I
So,
don't think that's going to happen either. I think he's gone before the Browns pick too.
That's
Yeah.
fair. You never know.
Shoo, I don't know about that, but you might because look how wide receivers are changing. Chase
Yes.
deal and the way this
Yeah.
Davis coming out of nowhere, and I mean, dude, you might want to get the baddest out right now because right now they're cooking at the end of games, and you can put them with good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Imagine that's why I was saying about Philly and Pickett because it's like what if Pickett was a Burrow, and now he's got a Devontae Smith to throw to in that space. Whew,
Yeah.
it gets scary.
and then you
real
go give him
quick.
another receiver.
I love Hurts, but I just think Hurts is a backup in the league.
Yeah, he is.
But
He is.
I love his game. I think he's a team guy. He's just a great person.
He really is.
He's got great work ethic, everything like that. But he's more run first, and I just how I feel about
the football
that.
team at 11. Do you think they're taking a quarterback there?
You know what? If the football team was smart, they take a quarterback. That's the one thing they're
If they
missing.
get the one that they wanted, if they got
Yeah.
one that they really wanted out of those 3 or 4, because believe me, we'll get to that Malik Willis or whatever
Right.
next week, and he's going to
creeping
get a
up.
lot of but he's run first in my eyes too. So.
Well, look right here, just real quick video. Matt Corral, Washington, 13th pick.
That's who they had on there.
Yeah, that's just who
Pickett
they're saying.
second, yeah.
They're saying Howe goes to the Lions at 25.
Broncos, Malik at 17. Oh, Desmond Riddler. Yeah, we'll get him and Willis on the next one. Some more run first type of guys. We can go over to Howe. What you got for Howe, Taylor?
I don't know. I don't know too much about Howe. I know he's played a lot of games. That's one thing that he's got going for him. He has a lot of experience at North Carolina. What I have seen of him is an average arm, small guy, maybe he's fitting into that Baker Mayfield mold, and nobody wants to take a chance on that right now.
Yeah.
Unless he falls down to a second round, third round team that's kind of looking for a guy that's maybe going to fit in, and they take him there. That's where I'm at on
Howell was projected to be like a top 5 pick, him and Rattler before the year.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
crazy. That's
It's
insane.
crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to understand though. Howell lost, I think 2 running backs to the NFL. He lost like a wide receiver or 2 to the NFL. He lost like 3 linemen,
Yeah.
3 or 4 linemen. I mean, dude, he basically he started out with a brand new team this year.
Yeah, but I
It's a
mean,
little
like,
bit different.
if you were to look from 19 to now, he's degressed. Or he's regressed. He had 3,600 yards, then 35, then 3,000. He went from 38 touchdowns to 30 to 24.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
For sure. Well, that was because he had better wide receivers the 2 years before he had NFL guys.
Yeah.
This year, he had some good guys, but he didn't have 3 NFL
but then
guys
again,
to
at the
run
same
around.
time, this year, he also had 11 touchdowns on 820 yards rushing.
Yeah.
I feel he's
That's
more
where
of
I
a
was
dual
getting
threat.
with it.
I feel
Well,
he's
yeah,
more of
no,
a dual
but-
threat than Corral.
But you're not making the difference. The difference is that the year before, what did he have? He only had 146 yards rushing on 92 attempts, 1.6 average.
In 2020.
Yes, and
Wow.
and now this year he had 183 carries, 828 yards, 4.5, and 11 touchdowns. That's saying, you know what? I ain't got dudes to throw to. I ain't got dudes to hand it off to. When I get back there and shit's getting crazy, I'm dipping the fuck out because I got some wheels and I'm going to show him.
Yeah.
He played tough. We and my dad went and watched him against Notre Dame. He
Yeah.
played tough. Without him, we destroyed them. His running, his feet kept North Carolina in that game for as long as they were in it, until probably fourth quarter. So it's
Huh. Maybe it's something to keep an eye on.
yeah, he's definitely multi-talented. He didn't always have the Oklahoma system to fall back on. That Mac Brown's a little more pro style.
Yeah.
He is very Baker Mayfield-ish.
He is.
As far as body size and arm strength and all those things. I don't think nobody's ever drafting that first anymore.
No,
I think
no.
Kyle's more about 31st, and 21st to 31st probably seems like a good one.
Maybe high second round.
I think, yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. We talked about last week when I said the Kaepernick Dalton type, range where you get those guys right there. Sometimes they're bust right there.
You know, the one thing I did notice about Hal, though, when he throws the ball within 15 yards,
Yeah.
dude, he's got a dart. It comes out like a dart.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I noticed about his throwing short passes versus Corral and Pickett.
Yeah.
I mean, Hal's just comes out like a dart, but Hal can't throw it deep like the other two.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that. They say not great size. I had 62.5 completion percentage, 24 touchdowns, had a down year, bad line, lost all wide receivers, running back, solid runner, underrated tough runner. Owns 27 school records at UNC.
Okay.
Like I put on there, similar to Baker, reads defense as well. Reads him better than your boy Corral does.
Yes.
Reads him better
I
than
did.
him.
Yeah.
His deep ball, he has very good deep ball accuracy.
Really? I didn't-
Yes, his deep ball is very accurate and in stride. You're looking at a lot of last year, not the years before. It's way different. I'm telling you, go look at that film. It's a way different
Yeah.
guy. And that's where everybody's hating on Baker right now. It's like, well, Baker don't got the same healthy team as he had the year before as well, or, when he had some of them weapons and some of them guys a little bit younger
True.
in their prime, where he was throwing. A year can change everything.
It can, and I didn't look at anything past just this last year. I
The
should've.
one thing is that he locks on, they said. He locks on the wide receivers.
I noticed that as
And
well.
and he has this really, really weird happy feet thing going on when he's back there. Like he just has this bounce and just bounces. And he just doesn't seem comfortable in the pocket. That's where he's got to become better. A lot of his stuff was one read, two read. Even though he did his reads, he still looks kind of weird and skittish while he's doing it. He don't look so comfortable in his own skin. That was something that they said that he was going to need to work on. I think he's a second round guy. I think if some of these guys we've been talking about, they miss on a QB early on, somebody like him's available in the second, could even fall to the third.
Yeah.
People are
Yeah.
like, what, to the third? People would probably be like, well, you never know, because after guys got their QBs or the few teams, you could sit around then,
Right.
until
Yeah.
somebody's in that, who was the team I was talking about yesterday, drafting and then being able to replace them right away with a guy while it's sitting back. And that's what you want to do, the way the Niners are doing it right now. That's the way to do it, the way Packers did it with Rodgers, and now they'll do it with Love eventually. You want to be able to snag a guy. I don't know what team I was thinking of yesterday. And I said it would be intriguing to draft somebody, and then if they sat him for a year, it'd be good. I'm sure it'll come back to me at some point. That's pretty much it on the draft profiles we got for today. We can slide on over to the Baker, Mac Jones, and Wilson, Zach Wilson. If either of those teams decide to go wide receiver, which Jeremy's convinced Browns are, I think a lot of people feel that way. Mac Jones, Patriots don't generally do that. Are they going to get him any receiver help? Are they still going to stick to this? Are they going to try to go get him a Devontae Smith? You know, Zach Wilson, I think the Jets do. I think the Jets know they need to. I think the Jets are looking at the Bengals and looking at the blueprint. And I think if they got a guy early on that they like, they might pull the trigger. If not, they will definitely trade back up or get one in the second. They want weapons.
Yeah.
You need weapons.
I'd like to see the Patriots make a move and pick up a weapon, but I mean, I think they're going to be defensive focused because of the way they got torched in the playoffs, and they could not stop Josh Allen. They couldn't score with him either, though.
That's what I would be getting at right here, is that this league is changing.
Yeah.
It isn't so much let's get a guy to stop it when you can get guys to keep up.
Yeah.
You know, defenses became second, and that kills me because I was a defense wins championships guy. You were taught that toughness made the difference, and now it's just about speed and space. What you got right there? Yeah, see on this one.
PFF, we have. This is a. I'm gonna tell you, this one here kind of
just go through the.
Took me a
just
shock.
Go to the wideouts, Jeremy. Who had any of them? The teams that we were just talking about.
So the first
The Browns.
wideout doesn't come off the board.
Well, I'm just talking about the three teams we're talking about. Where's Baker's pick? Baker's pick, they end up going. There's the Jets. There's Jets one.
Drake
Wide
London.
receiver Drake London. See, immediately 10th pick. They got it on here. One of those Jets picks.
Yeah.
Go get him a big target. Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Basically, that's who they're going to go get him there. A guy like that to throw it
Yeah,
up.
because they got Corey
to go
Davis
get it.
too.
Yeah. I get it. He's not bad for sure. Then who else we got?
There's
Keep going down. Yeah, you're
number
trying to do that.
2.
Garrett Wilson to the Browns. See, the Browns go get Garrett Wilson. So they're all trying to get these top wide receivers in the draft. Please, Baltimore, don't get George Karlaftis, because I don't want Baltimore to be any better on the D line. Keep going down. Let's see. Who did we have up here? What was the other one? Mac Jones. Go. Where do they go? You got the Saints. Took a wide receiver. See.
Nope. They go defense. Nakobe Dean.
See.
At least
It's
according to
just-
this one.
It is just what they do.
Yeah.
That's why you said that. That's why I think that. That's why I worry for Mac. They want to get the team that stops it because it's Bill and still Bill's way. And Bill's way has worked for so long, but you don't got Tom no more over there.
Right.
You ain't got everybody running to come play with you.
Nope. And
You know?
Bill might have to get away from his, not taking a receiver in the first round or taking a big name
Change is
receiver.
inevitable, and sometimes you either get with it or get left behind. And he could suck for 5 years, and it don't matter. He's still the greatest coach.
Yeah.
But it's still one of the greatest coaches ever, but still, the winningest, at least as far as rings, but it ain't going to matter. Maybe his stubbornness will do that, but I don't know. His son will be the one.
When
If he
takes
don't,
over here in
his
a couple
son will be the
years.
one that I
Yeah.
think understands a little bit, just a little more hip. It's only natural.
Yeah.
Our kids are going to be hipper than us. We're eventually
Yeah.
going to be old heads too. People are going to be like, "Shut up," that's the way it kind of is. I'd like to think that we're going to be wise, but that doesn't work out for every guy.
Right.
Every person. Period. Well, we can go to the cap off this one, guys, and we're going to go to the playoff results. First off, I'll just say, never listen to me. I was 0-4. I don't know anything. Trust your own gut.
Yeah.
Everything's a play or two away. I know I said that a few times last week, so
Yeah.
that's generally how it all works out. But yeah, I NFL, I've always had a tough time picking them because everything's so close, and what seems obvious isn't usually what happens.
Yeah.
It's not.
Who thought that you guys were getting a blocked kick that is what going to really spring the win?
Yeah, no offensive touchdowns.
Who thinks Tannehill's going to come out and they're going to try to throw it that much and get 3 picks?
Right.
Especially on a key
Exactly.
time where he forces one in.
Who would have thought that 3 road teams were going to win by a field goal?
Man.
Yeah, the 2 games I felt sure about and picking the Bills and the Buccaneers ended up flopping on me. And then the 2 games that I picked because they're my boys, the Niners, and I root for the Bengals when the Niners aren't around. They both pulled it off, and I wasn't so confident about that. But hey,
Hey, I was
sometimes
1
it
for
goes
4.
that way.
I was 1 for 4. The only team I got right was the Bengals. But hey, real quick, while we're talking about playoffs, dude, Gabriel Davis, man. I just want to say, dude,
Yeah.
that dude made NFL record, first player ever.
Somebody
full
look him up. I
receiving
don't even know where he got
touchdowns,
drafted from or when he got drafted. I don't
full
know.
receiving touchdowns in a divisional
I do know
game.
This is his second year. He's a second-year player, so last year.
Good for him. That boy gonna get paid. He keeps this type of stuff up. You can't keep him down. Where was he out of? Click on it. It'll say all that on there. Or it won't say all that for you right there unless it goes down there. Basically, I just put on here that, Rodgers and Allen never got a chance.
Yeah.
They really never got a chance at the end the way it got grinded down and the teams won. Like,
Yeah.
Rodgers did have a chance at the end.
Rodgers had with 4 minutes left. He had a chance. and
He
then
had one
3
chance.
now.
Well, the one, I don't know if you saw the one play, they ran like, more vertical type approach, and you had Adams was coming up on the right, and then you had St. Brown that came in and ran out right here, and then you had Lazard that came right here and then ran over on a thing. Well, Lazard was wide open on it if he hits him, probably 20 yards. St. Brown had his guy beat by 2 yards on a one-on-one situation going to the left on the out, and Adams is double covered, and he puts on his cape.
Yeah.
And tries to throw it to Adams, and I'm like, we love Adams. I know we can make a lot of those plays and trust and it's part of it, but not when you have other better options.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's one play and you can't kill Rodgers on it, but man,
Yeah, you can't. But
it's tough when you're ending. Like somebody said, why isn't he seeing that? Why is he trying to put on his cape and win it all in one game instead of understanding that you could?
Yeah.
It's like this. Did he not give a fuck? And he's just like, I'm fucking out of here or something. I don't know. It's just crazy. He didn't look phased at the end. The way he was committal about anything towards next year. Like,
There is a lot of people saying that he kind of just gave up at the end of that game there. I mean, to see him fail and have a 3 and out with 4 minutes left is just unheard of. You put Aaron Rodgers in that situation and you're 95% confident he's coming out with a touchdown.
at least a few first downs.
Yeah.
you would think.
First downs, at least have you down there at least.
at the same time, A.J. Dillon going down at the beginning of the third quarter didn't help the Packers offense none either.
Not when you're trying to run. And
Yeah, especially in the weather that they had. But, the knock on Aaron Rodgers has always been in the playoffs that he doesn't trust other players. He has his mindset
that's
on
what
trusting.
hurt him. That's what hurt him, and that's what Michael Jordan used to be that way, but you had to do it. That's what Phil got Mike to trust others, and that's where the rings came. And maybe that's why Aaron's sitting around with one.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep it real.
Yeah.
But, by the way, UCF is where Gabriel Davis came from.
Nice.
What about Josh
they've been
Allen not
working.
getting a shot, man? You brought that up. He didn't get a chance to respond to that touchdown. And does this come back to
I hate the rule.
NFL?
And it's not because it's me. It's not because it's, because I saw my one dude on the Twitter give him a shot. I think his name's Zimday or something on there. And I don't want to hear about your overtime rules. Y'all only cry when it's your team. For sure. But at the same time, it isn't my team. And I'm just looking at like, man, we got to do something about this.
We really
got to
do.
change this shit, man.
Yeah,
it is
we do.
horrible. This is not the way we want to see a game like that end. Now, I love what Mahomes is down there doing, but man, Allen deserved to go out there and defend that.
He did.
When it's an offensive league, then you need to change the rules to see more offense. Why is that a defensive type protecting rule?
Right.
Protecting your offense or whatever, because they might never get it.
Yeah.
It basically helps you. Defense, sink or swim. You screw us, then we don't get a chance to.
And for the guys that say, hey, your defense needs to get a stop then. Well, I'll say to that, why aren't you kicking the ball?
If I'm the Bengals right now, do I want Joe to have a chance at getting the ball, or do I just want to trust my defense on a coin flip? That if my defense goes up, we're probably losing.
Right.
Probably losing to Kansas City in the exact same way this week.
Yeah.
Without it.
The Chiefs were on the other side of it 3 years ago.
Yes.
They lost to the Patriots.
Yeah, and that's why they're not mad. They're not complaining, and we're not mad, but they complained then, so they at least have to respect the Bills now.
They did, because after the Chiefs lost in that overtime, they went to the league to try to change but they didn't get the votes.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The NFL and college have different rules when it comes to overtime. I much prefer the NCAA rules. Give each team a chance in overtime. Okay. Now the NFL kind of adapted a few years ago and said if the team that gets the opening kickoff scores a field goal, the opposing team gets a chance.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Now
It should still be touchdown, in my opinion.
it should be.
My thing is, what is it, 25 in college?
Yeah, you started.
Can we just go back to the 40 or something?
Yeah, you started 25 in college. Yeah,
where you got to get a first down to basically guarantee a field goal, or you got to at least pick up 5, 7, not even 40. Maybe we'll start at 45. right at midfield even.
Yeah, exactly.
Start it right at midfield.
Start right at the 50-yard
Actually,
line.
the more you think about it, just right at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, go. But, the biggest thing that I'm taking from this Bills-Chiefs game is, man, this is the playoffs. Okay? If you're not going to do it for the regular season, at least do it for the playoffs. Because I know probably half of America wanted to see Josh Allen have that shot to go
regular
down.
season, let's get these games done. I'm with that. We should have a quicker way of getting it done in the regular season. I know they might matter later on, but these are regular season games. Get them on, get them done. Don't cry about it. There's going to be a lot of other games you could win or lose that'll get you in the playoffs. Don't get mad about one game one way. Now, the playoffs, you can get mad about one game one way because that's everything.
It is.
It's everything.
It is.
It's your season's on the line.
Yeah, and us as fans, we see it this way, but when it comes down to it, the players, they'll all tell you that it shouldn't come down to that. You're not meant to win if you have to rely on that coin flip to get the ball in overtime.
I don't know. I've seen a couple players on
get it.
Twitter talking about this isn't how a game should be decided in overtime on a coin flip.
I take back the 50. I like the 40 because even if you pick up a few yards, you give your kicker a chance to kick a 50 to 55 yarder.
Yeah.
If he's a good kicker, then that's where kickers matter. No time. The overtimes, that's where they should. Late games. I like the 40, right at the 40. It's 25 in college because kickers are a little less. Right at the 40.
Yeah.
And then, so that way if you don't get a first, then you got to kick a 50-yarder to stay in that overtime. Because then the other teams, all they got to do is they got to come out, pick up one first down, kick it in if you missed yours, and then they win the game.
Yep.
At least it's fair. You both have the damn ball.
Exactly, yeah. That's how I feel, especially in the playoffs.
You guys got anything else?
One last thing on the MLB. We got the Hall of Fame induction ceremony coming tonight at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Eastern.
I have to see who that is.
A couple things to watch for that is, does David Ortiz, is he the shoe-in this year? Is he the only guy to get in this year? Is one thing to watch because we have Bonds, Clemens, Sosa, and Schilling on their last chance right here.
That's bullshit. I don't give a shit about their steroids. It was still a part of baseball. There was a lot of people doing it.
And I agree.
You guys fucking knew and let it go on.
Yeah,
don't act like you did it. When it became to the point that you were going to get exposed and criticized for it, then you turned on it. But until then, you embraced it. You knew what was going on in MLB. You've been fucking blackballing my boy Pete for years. Now you're going to do these guys. They're fucking ball players. They're good ball players. Let them in. It's that gets me hyped. That gets me loud on the mic right now. I hate that. I know what Pete did was wrong. He knows what it was too, but it didn't have nothing to do with him doing that. And they won't even let him in.
Right.
So it's like, why? They're not going to let these guys in.
No.
They're not going to let these guys in.
Yeah, Bonds, Sosa, Schilling,
They changed their bodies to be better. But it's like, come on, man. These are like 5 guys. You can't tell me these are like, well, there was only 10 guys that did it. Because that's all you about got proof on.
No, there's a lot of guys.
Dude, there's like 30% of guys flew under the radar and didn't get caught because they didn't do it enough. Yeah. They didn't blow up 50 pounds like Bonds. They blew up 20 and did a quiet 20 and had a solid career and packed their 10 All-Stars and went and shipped off.
And beefing up might help you hit the ball a little bit farther, but you still have to have that skill to hit the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
You got to have the vision.
Yeah.
You got to have that vision, that natural swing. Not everybody can do that.
Not at all.
I'd like to see him get in. I'm with you on this one.
Yeah.
I think it'd be crazy to see him get denied and never be able to try again, but...
Well, they need to change that rule. They need to start letting some older dudes that didn't get in.
Here's the thing. If you go back and look at Baseball Hall of Fame...
ballot rule?
No. I've never liked it. Why does it matter? Why does it have to be in 10 ballot? Why can't it be in 100 years?
Yeah.
Why does a guy have to only be this and that before we decide what is valuable? Maybe we value something now different than what we'll value it in 50 years, and that guy would be a legend to him, and you didn't let him in the first 10. Doesn't make sense. Everything changes.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's like what? We held quarterbacks out? We've held quarterbacks out of the Hall of Fame in the NFL, and I don't know if it's the same way in that, but you think about it, they didn't pass back then. That's why they got these yards and all this other stuff. Does it mean they were lesser of quarterbacks?
Right.
No. It was a running back more type of league. Now it's quarterbacks. So what? Are we not supposed to let any running backs in now? Because none of them are going to break Emmett's records or none of that. All that shit in the APs, they're done now.
Well, that's just like,
Derrick Henry and Chubb, and then they're going to have the most career yards of this generation.
Yep.
You have 2 or 3 guys that are like this.
Exactly.
And then that's it. And then I don't think they're going to reach 15.
Well, I mean, and the NFL has that ballot rule too, because Clay Matthews had used up all his. And I don't get that either. This dude has stats comparable to LT and other linebackers from his generation. The difference is Clay Matthews don't have a ring, so they're like, yeah, you're not good enough for the Hall. But I'm like, dude, his stats were right
Yeah,
there.
who knows in 20 or 30 years there's a weak one
Yeah.
that isn't up there, and there's a guy like that could get in. That's why I don't like
The
limited
ballot
ballots.
rule needs to go.
Yeah,
and
limited
everything.
ballots, yeah.
Yeah, whack. All right, guys. Well, that was another good episode. Thanks you guys for watching, and we'll see you here in a few days. Peace.